Hi everybody, how are you doing today? Thank you for joining me. This article comes out of the freethoughtproject.com. It's official. First bee has been added to the endangered species list. This came out on March 22nd. It's official. As tragically revealing as the move might be, the rusty-patched bumblebee has now joined the grizzly bear, gray wolf, northern spotted owl, and some 700 others on the endangered species list. The first bee ever to garner those protections in the continental United States. Okay, now I do get a little emotional when I read about species that are endangered, so let me try to get through this without getting all choked up. Okay. Whew. Once abundant in the grasslands and prairies in 31 states in the East and Midwest, the rusty-patched bumblebee's population has been decimated by as much as 95% by some estimates, and now exists only in isolated pockets in 12 states and the province of Ontario, Canada. There are few little spots where we know they are, James Strange, a research entomologist and bumblebee ecologist with the USDA, told Forbes. But only a really few spots. Getting this bee, Bombus saphenus, scientifically speaking, so named for the red patch on its abdomen, onto the endangered species list took longer than originally expected. Thanks to the hemming and hawing by the Trump administration and its fealty to corporate influence, the original listing date of February 10th ultimately delayed until yesterday. I guess that would have been the 21st, right? Because this came out 22nd. So I guess on the 21st. Okay. In fact, the campaign to list the rusty-patched bumblebee as endangered took years and a Herculean effort by entomologists and environmental groups, but the resulting historic precedent highlights the precarious state of vital pollinators. Listing the rusty-patched bumblebee was historic because this is the first bumblebee species and the first bee found on the continental United States to ever be listed as endangered under the Endangered Species Act. This is sad, you guys. This is sad. Okay? They are being poisoned with, Monsanto's herbicides, GMOs, chemtrails. This is what's killing these wonderful pollinators off. So this listing is the result of a 5-year campaign by environmental groups such as the Natural Resources Defense Council and the Circe Society for Invertebrate Conservation, and based on input from tens of thousands of citizen scientists and private citizens, Forbes reports. NRDC had filed a lawsuit over the 6-week postponement of the listing, calling the move illegal because it came without notice or period for public comment. But Tuesday's listing rendered it effectively moot. So, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm going to do my best. Circe Society, Director of Endangered Species, Society. Director of Endangered Species Sarah Jepson said of Tuesday's announcement from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, "We are thrilled to see one of North America's most endangered species receive the protection it needs." Well, I think the rest of us would be more thrilled to see that these bees aren't being killed off by what I've already said: chemtrails, Monsanto, herbicides, and whatever poisons. So you know what? I personally would be more thrilled if it wasn't on the endangered species and that there was an abundance of them everywhere, like there should be. Okay? So, you know what? They're thrilled. So what are they going to do about it? Are they going to, are they going to, I don't know, make them all have babies and repopulate? I hope so. Oh, repopulate into a world where they're just going to die from, remember that bee die-off in Florida where they sprayed for the pretend Zika virus? Okay, so these bees are just being murdered. They're being murdered. Alright, there are pollinators. And you know what? I'm just gonna go ad-lib here. Alright, we've got Monsanto, the agro-giant, the poisoners. You know what? They don't want bees. Because they don't need bees to grow their crap. So they don't care. Alright? They don't need pollination. Not for GMOs, I don't think. If they do, they must have phony... I don't know. But anyways, I'm getting off the point here. Anyway, so these people are thrilled. Okay, now that the Fish and Wildlife Service has listed the rusty-patched bumblebee as endangered, it stands a chance of surviving the many threats it faces. Okay, the threats it faces, I've already mentioned. Okay? So if they want to stand a chance of surviving, they have to stop the chemtrailing, they have to stop the herbicides, they have to stop spraying for a phony baloney Zika virus, chemtrails, you name it. The only way that they stand a chance of surviving is if the powerless that be stops poisoning them. Yeah, I'm irritated. I'm sorry. It stands a chance of surviving the many threats it faces, from the use of neonicotinoid pesticides to diseases. Okay, I covered that. Loss of habitat and human encroachment Loss of habitat and human encroachment? Really? Played a role in the bees' decline as well? No. No. The toxins did. Chemtrails. Glyphosate. GMOs. Okay? That's what played a part. Not human encroachment, unless it was political encroachment. God. Anyways, but the classification as endangered will assist in conservation of the tall grasses and open fields where rusty patch bee and other pollinators should survive. And what are they gonna do? Pollinate fake plants? Anyway, while this listing clearly supports the rusty-patched bumblebee, the entire suite of pollinators that share its habitat and which are so critical to natural ecosystems and agriculture will also benefit. Oh, okay, whatever. I'm just going to keep reading and keep my mouth shut. Asserted Rich Hatfield, the Cersei Society senior conservation biologist. This is a positive step towards the conservation of the species. We shouldn't have to be conserving them. And we now have to roll up our sleeves to begin an actual on-the-ground conservation that will help it move towards recovery. But the designation of the rusty-patched bumblebee as endangered species could still face robust challenges. Here we go. From several industries, corporations, and developers. rejuvenation of the species is still far from certain. The implications of this hasty listing decision are difficult to overstate, states a petition from American Petroleum Institute, National Association of Home Builders, National Cotton Council of America. And by the way, cotton is now being grown GMO. Let's see. The National Rural Electric Cooperative Association, and 2 entities to the Secretary of the Interior and Acting Director of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, requesting a year's delay in the listing. Who are the 2 entities? Without a hint of irony, considering pollinators are responsible for the propagation of around 1/3 of our food supply. Boy, that's a low estimate. Only 1/3? Wrong. Wrong. Try 2/3. The petition goes on to deem the listing of the rusty patched bumblebee as one of the most significant species listings in decades in terms of scope and impact on human activities. What, they're blaming us again? They're blaming you and me? Are these people out of their minds? Right? The only human activity are the people poisoning the planet. I hope that's what they mean, because if they're blaming all of us, ooh, wrong. Anyway, okay, I know I'm getting out there. Stuff like this just irritates me, because these bees should not even be endangered. Okay, bumblebees impart an estimated $3.5 billion into the American economy, yet apparently the signatories of the petition view the protection of one species as an insufferable encumbrance for humans. While ideally the government should not intervene, big agriculture, comprising pesticide and herbicide manufacturers, factory farms, GMOs, and the practice of monoculture, and other contributors to the drastic slump in the bumblebees' numbers, have not taken the onus of responsibility in initiating stewardship practices. Ironically, the predominant model for food production in this country, destruction of the natural landscape through monoculture, and the staggeringly prolific use of pesticides and herbicides on crops genetically manipulated to withstand them, has virtually wiped out or acutely reduced populations of the very bumblebee pollinators on which fully 1/3 of U.S. crops depend. Opposition to the listing, in other words, is counterproductive at best, especially considering the rusty-patched bumblebee isn't a uniquely threatened pollinator. Wonder what they mean by that. Anyway, we're all in for a whole shitload of trouble, man. The bees die, we die. When the bees die, the human being will have 4 years left. That's it. When bees die, we die within 4 years. So we need to get them to stop chemtrailing. We need to stop the GMOs. We need to stop all the toxins, all the herbicides, the pesticides, all the crap that's affecting not just the bumblebee, but butterflies. It's just breaking down our ecosystem. These people are breaking it down. Alright, so the rusty-patched bumblebee is on the endangered species list. It's better being on the list than not, but it shouldn't be there to begin with. Alright, everybody. Until next time, thanks for watching.